Hey there, good morning. Happy Labor Day for those of you that are still laboring and not on permanent vacation, courtesy of your local government. Do you see that blinking? One of my lights, LED lights up there is malfunctioning. Only half of it's lighting up. And then I guess it's getting too warm and it's shutting off and then it's coming back on again. So, and then it stops after a while. So I expect sometime during this video you won't be seeing that anymore. But I've got to change that one, I guess. Or maybe there's something I can fix. Who knows? I just went out on my front porch where I've been storing my my pieces of spalted maple from the tree I cut down a few years ago, and bringing it in to join the other ones that I already had in here, because I see that, look, there, stopped. So I told you it was going to stop. To join the other ones that I cut, that I brought in before, I want to use those to make the backsplash in my kitchen. I just finished building the 6 drawers that were missing in the base cabinets. I also just finished making the drawer fronts, the rest of the drawer fronts. I had already had some of the drawer fronts already done months ago. Now I just finished them for the rest of the base cabinets, and I'm working on a video. I should actually be editing that right now while I'm out here talking to you. But you know what? I've been doing that. I started doing it yesterday. I sat for, I don't know, more than an hour getting a start on it. Got up this morning, got my coffee and all that, and I spent 2 hours. So I need a little bit of a break, and I thought I would do this. Bring in this lumber. I still have more to bring in. And, you know, talk about things with you. So, yeah, I had this idea, and I was originally going to do it with cherry. To do the backsplash in a kind of an end grain type thing, except it would be pieces cut very thin, and they wouldn't be all the same thickness. That was the twist in the story. You see, it was going to be a kind of a texture, almost like my Skyline diffuser, except not as extreme. Obviously, you don't need that on a backsplash, all right? Be a nightmare to clean. So it would be sticking out. I can see making pieces that are, say, 3/16 of an inch thick, 1/4 inch thick, and 5/16 of an inch thick. So you got three different thicknesses, but they're all still very thin. All right, and I was going to glue them directly onto the drywall that's there using that expensive glue I talked about before. I bought a couple of buckets of it with the idea of gluing a thin layer of hardwood down to my plywood floor, which I'm not going to do. I like the plywood floor. I have it all sanded. It's all refinished. Everything looks good, and I'm going to leave it. Okay, at some point in the future I may do something, but for now I'm happy with it. So I figure I could use at least a little bit of it. I measured the surface area before for tile, you know, to order the right amount of tile. It's like 25 square feet. So not a huge amount, but it will be quite a lot of, you know, cutting and planing and recutting and cutting it into thin slices of this stuff here to get enough pieces to do the whole thing. But I think it's going to be worth it. I think it's really going to look sharp because, okay, I did the whatchamacallit, what's that? The timbre door in the appliance garage, which looks great, okay? But it's the only spalted maple in there, and I had this in mind for the backsplash, so I said, okay, because originally I was going to do the timbre door with cherry as well, right? Thinking it would match the backsplash, which is going to be cherry as well. But then I changed it to the spalted maple, and therefore I'll do this black splash. Not that I'm big on everything matching, all right? Not everything has to match, but it can't be too oddball, right? It's just not going to look right if it's too oddball. So switched to the Spalted Maple for the backsplash, I also have one other project in mind that will also use the Spalted Maple, and that's a glass rack. On one side of the window, the cabinet goes right up against the window trim, okay? On the other side, there's a space between the window trim and the side of the cabinet. The side of the cabinet that's in the corner there is corner cabinet. And I did that on purpose because I had that idea for the glasses rack. And basically what it is just some, I can't say dowels because they'll be shaped more like flat pieces, but they'll be up on a bit of an angle like that so the glasses slip on and it'll go right like all the way up and down. And it'll fill up that space. So, and I think it'll look sharp. You know, the sun comes in there in the morning through that window, and it will, I think it'll catch, you know, the glasses will catch the light, right? And plus it'll take those glasses down out of the cabinets and give me more space up there. So that's a good thing. You know, I kind of need more space, but I don't want to add more cabinets, right? Though what I want to do in there eventually, though, is build a, not an island. An island is fixed. This would be more like a table that looks like an island, all right? It's not going to have any sink or anything in there, like electrical or anything. It's just going to be freestanding workbench in the kitchen, basically, with the top. And then I think just cupboards down below because, man, have I got a lot of drawers in the kitchen now. Everything is drawers, okay? So cupboards down underneath just to put bigger things in, maybe. I don't know. Because my kitchen's fully equipped now. I don't need any more gadgets or anything. I've got too many gadgets, if anything. So I don't know what I'm going to put down underneath. In fact, I would like to, I'm thinking I could even just block it off completely. Like when I did it was a house I worked on. And I don't have pictures of this, unfortunately. But it had a big walk-in closet. The closet, no kidding, the closet was the size of my workshop here, all right? There was built-ins all along, like 3 sides of the walls. There was a sliding door at the end, like pocket doors, double pocket doors. And then in the middle of this thing, the guy wanted something that somebody could sit down on, like a bench. So I came up with this idea to make a circular thing, right? So a complete circle, like think of a dowel up on the end. Think of this, okay? Standing up, except it had a cut down here, like so, and this was the bench. So half of it was bench, and the other top, like on the top, was a place so you could put things, like a table almost. Except there was one big like circle, and there was no storage in it. It was just a bench and a surface to put things on. Like you could stand up and get your cufflinks, because people that live in such houses have cufflinks. And I did that with maple plywood curved all the way around it, seamless. Okay, and then the top, I can't remember what the top was. The floors in the house were Jatoba. Okay, that's a Brazilian cherry. And that's what was on the top and on the bench. So it was really sharp looking thing, really unique looking. But the point I was trying to make is that it didn't have any storage inside. It was just there, right? To use the bench and to use the surface. There was no cubby holes to put stuff. So I'm thinking the same thing for the kitchen fake island. You know, make it so that it's all closed in on the bottom. You can't use it, right? Because drawers are the way to go, right? You want to avoid cabinets, cupboards, okay? Unless you have something tall that stands up. And even then, why is it there? So if you're not going to put drawers in, then you don't need the space, basically. That's the way I'm thinking about it. And I have lots of drawers. Like I said, I just finished 6 more. And I'm like looking around the kitchen for things to put in those drawers. And I'll eventually get stuff in there, but it'll be stuff that I don't use all the time and really doesn't have to be in the kitchen at all. Yeah, looking forward to the backsplash idea, just to see exactly. I can picture it. Do you have that ability? Because I think that's the biggest thing that separates people that are successfully creative with those that are not, is the ability to picture things in their mind's eye. That's the way it's referred to, your mind's eye, okay? You don't have to close your eyes or anything. You can just see it. You can imagine what it looks like. And sometimes it's completely accurate, and other times it's like a complete illusion, all right? You get the thing done, and it doesn't look anything like that, or it doesn't look as good, usually, okay? But I think this is gonna look sharp. Mainly because, okay, cabinets are that light maple color. Countertop is that very nearly black tile, okay? So, like, there's no variation there. There's not much variation in the maple. I left in some defects in the maple. Like, I used the backside, and I talk about this in the video that I'm editing right now that should be ready for tomorrow. I used the backside of the sheet. I didn't use the front side. The front side was too boring, too plain. There wasn't enough variation. Except I got confused, and I actually used the front side for the 8 drawers that are in the 2 banks. But that's another story. But the 2 big drawers that I made have some defects in there. A couple of places where there's dark wood shining through. So, you know, I like to have that little bit of variation, you know, something that's doesn't, you know, takes the plastic edge off things, you know? If you have something that's printed, you know, on vinyl and then applied to the surface, then it looks fake. It doesn't look real. When you have something like that that includes some of the natural defects in the wood, it makes it look more authentic, right? And nothing looks more authentic than this stuff right here.
Well, it was real, but you see, I got sick and all the hair fell out, so I had to wear this fucking thing.
How'd you get sick?
I loved a woman who wasn't clean.
Mrs. Santa?
No, it was her sister.
What's it like at the North Pole?
Like the suburbs.
Which one?
Apache Junction. What the